12K printing? Well, it's here, and today we're going to open up the Anycubic M5. See you guys inside. Hey guys, welcome to today's video. Today, as I said, we're looking at the Anycubic M5. Brand new printer, 12K resolution. The most notable thing that I've seen about this when I've kind of looked at other reviews going on, like 3D Printing Nerd and a bunch of the others, is this one is really meant for speed. Also, has its own self-leveling concept. We're going to take a look at that because that's not something that's heard of in resin printing. And just kind of take a look at what has changed in the new machines, because we are jumping to another higher resolution. And we're going to just take a look at this new machine. This one, I'm kind of excited, actually, especially with a printer that is kind of designed especially for speed printing. Is kind of cool, especially if you can get that speed and get that detail all at the same time. Those are all kind of important things to kind of look at. And that's the goal with this. So we're going to get this out of the box. We're going to take a look at it. We will not print today. Or will we? We'll see. It may go into this video. We may have enough time to get that in this time, or there will be a part 2. And yes, guys, I know I've got videos out on the Bamboo. Those part 2s are all coming as I've kind of figured out and learned the software. So keep that in mind. We still have one more printer to come. The Galaxy One is still supposed to be coming. Backer number like 750, so it may be a while till we see that 17-inch printer grace our shop, but I'm excited for that one. But also we have the mighty 8K, 12K upgrade kits have arrived. So those will be coming up as well. Those may be next week, or I may do those on the stream, because we got to take apart the mighty 8Ks and put in all the new components. So kind of excited about that as well. But today we're talking about Anycubic. So we're going to get that guy out of the box. We're going to take a look at all of our specs and kind of just get a feel for this new printer. If you're new here, make sure you hit that subscribe button. If you like what you see, make sure you hit that like button, because that helps us out. And also, if you got any questions, not even if it's about this, or if it's 3D printing question, pop it down in the comments down below. So let's move on. Let's get this printer out of the box. All right, guys, so we got this one. And as you know, whenever I look at one of these 3D printers, I look at the packaging. Good sturdy box. One thing that's notable that I like about this one is it's got a completely plastic bag wrapper around even the internal packing. Now, this works for two ways. One, it helps get the printer out. Two, it keeps moisture out of the printer, which is very important. Now, as I kind of look on top here, I see the installations and usage instructions. This almost looks like there's a screen protector in here already also, or that may be a replacement FEP, but we'll grind down to that. But let's get this guy out of the box. They want us to be happy to have the printer. All right, now looking at this, I'm going to set the box on the floor and lift it up. All right, and there she is. Get that plastic bag off of there. First looks, we have the iconic yellow Anycubic cover. Which we will slide that out to get the bag off. So very iconic, very standard looking. Always got the name emblazed Anycubic cover. I see the build plate. Now here is where we start seeing differences. You guys notice the 4 set screws that we would normally see is missing. They're not there. Because of that self-leveling feature, we're supposed to be able to calibrate and not need that. So that is interesting. We will get to that. Let's keep digging away at the foam, shall we? So another piece gone. We have our goodies box. Here's our resin bay. This is a little different, to have the resin bay kind of pushed off to the side like that. That is a little unique. It's oddly colored. Please tear off protective film and stick the screen protector on according to usage instructions. So that was a screen protector. I'm going to set the FET bay off. Just looking at this, this does look like a 9-inch to 10-inch build plate, which is great. That's a really good, more common printer size. The age of the 6-inch build plate, I think, is pretty well gone. We'll get rid of that foam, and we're going to start to expose the machine itself. And last piece to throw away. Alright, so there's the machine. Very thin. Very different body build. I like the handhelds right there. That's very nice to have that groove in there to be able to pick up the printer. USB port on the side. That's a bit of a disappointment to me. I really actually dislike the USB port being in the back. I prefer it up front, like the Mighty 8Ks have, and the Frozen Mega 8Ks. Just ease of putting in the drive. I've got to reach back here and find this, but it also means I can't put machines very close to each other. So what I do here is I buy a USB extension cable and I'll run it up to the front. That way I don't have to keep reaching back here, and I don't have to worry about getting my machines getting up against each other. So first look, lots of plastic. This is different. A single bolt like that is very different. So definitely a lot of very familiar parts, single axis. And of course, you know, that wonderful, always fun to peel off the film off new components. And feel that static cling. I need to touch something metal to get rid of that. I don't want to hurt the device. So all in all, without the build plate and that in there, just looking at the machine, very clean, very compact. The lid fits very tight. 3D printing companies, put handles on the lid. Why is this so hard? That way, if we've got resin on our hands or something, we're not getting it on here. There's nice little handles, which I 3D print and use double-sided tape to put on to my printers. But why is that not standard? I don't understand this. Because then we're grabbing that, we're not getting fingerprints and stuff all over this, and it's just kind of a better way to handle this lid. So now I know I'm going to get the naysayers of, why are you touching it with resin on your hands? Well, you know, sometimes I'm going through 9 different printers at a time and I'm just hopping. And the handles let me get the handles dirty and keep my printers clean. Now I am excited because I've got a Beagle Cam V2 coming and I've got the UV sensor. I'm excited to get getting these recorded. But, okay, I'm gonna roll this back for a second. Gotta love these Husky tool benches. Great things. Let's get in the goodie box, shall we? So on initial opening up, there's the goodie box. We've got our gloves, cleaning cloths, the USB, the Allen wrenches, and the plastic putty knives, which I do love for these printers. My warranty card, the first half of the power cord, the main power brick. That's quite a hefty brick that we're going to need. Face masks and pour-off filters. I do like that they give the filters. And, of course, a very nice looking putty knife. And yes, you do need a putty knife for cleaning off your build plate. You need a hard one for this, and you need a plastic one for cleaning in the FET bay. That's what they're for. That's why they give you 2. So, we've been in the goodie box. Let's open the bag a little bit more, because here are the resin vat screws are in the goodie bags. You got your nitrate gloves, and I'm assuming screen protector accessories. It's a wipe to clean off the screen to adhere to the screen protector that we saw in the beginning, which is over here and in this bag with the instruction book that I've yet to open, because you guys are getting my first impressions quite raw here. But we're going to get that instruction book because you should use the instruction book. Despite everything, the instruction book does help. Alright, so let's take a look at this machine. So, they've got it labeled out very clean, very simple. What's in the box? Let's take a look at what we need to do to fire up this machine. So first we're going to turn on the machine and let it calibrate itself. Then we're going to clean and put on the screen protector. We'll then put the build plate on. And we'll do some exposure tests, and then we'll install the resin vat. And then it will be time to... this one's talking about using the Anycubic app, which I don't have. I don't use very often. And then it'll be time to get to the printer tests. And we can also, looks like we can do remote printing with this machine. But I'll probably do something out of Cura or something like that, because I haven't decided what I'm doing with this machine yet. I don't know if I'm just going to do my standard printing, or if I'm going to do a special job like I did with the Frozen Mini 8KS. But hey, let's follow the instructions. Let's get ready. Let's get this printer ready to do our first print. And of course, the first instruction was power it on. So we're going to get that power cord connected up. We're going to get this guy fired up. Hopefully you guys are enjoying the content here. Make sure you hit that like button if you are. And also, while I plug this in, consider becoming a member of the channel, because being a member, not only while it's financial, you get into our Discord and all kinds of other goodies. Like you would have seen a lot of this stuff before this video. So, consider that. And that money does go into the channel and help me get cool things like this. Alright, power cord, plug her in the back, power on. There she goes, coming to life. Going through a diagnostic, auto device check, that's actually kind of nice. And now we're on the main screen. Let's see if that's better without the protective film. Not really. Still kind of hard to see. Sorry guys, I'm trying my best here. But we'll go over to Tools. Info. Exposure testing, move Z. Okay. So it said the next thing to do was the screen protector. So we're going to do that. Now the screen protector is pretty straightforward, simple. Basically just a piece of plastic that lays down on your LCD. But why do you need these? Why? Well, I'll tell you exactly why. That small FEP, or I'm not even sure if it's FEP anymore, can breach from a print or something scraping on it or debris that was left in from the print prior before. And that can breach and resin get under that FEP. And guess where that resin goes? Right on your LCD, and 9 times out of 10, you're gonna scratch it trying to get off. You're gonna have to sit there with alcohol, days of maintenance, trying to get that off and not damage the digitizer and the LCD, which a lot of times comes down to replacing that LCD, which really, really kind of sucks. So, cheap solution, piece of plastic, goes on here, you peel it off, you slap a new one on, you're back to ready to print with a new vat in 5 minutes. So, and that's one thing that I tend to do is, if I really, really like a machine, I order a second one of these. So that way I can avoid downtime. Essentially, by ordering the second one, I avoid the downtime because while the other one is on there, it can have a new FEP installed, be ready to go. Once the other one's damaged or worn out, I just swap them and I go back my maintenance while it's still running. Really reduces downtime if you're a big time printer, if you're doing a lot of printing, which usually especially for like my Frozen machines, my Anycubic M3 Max, they're constantly running. So having these second bays are a lifesaver to me sometimes. So let's get that screen protector installed. So first we need to do is take off this film, which will expose the LCD. We're going to just discard that. Then what you do is you take your little kit here. And we're going to clean it off. Now right now, I'm not going to use the guide stickers. I don't usually use the dust absorber. This is brand new, so what I'll do is I'll use the little cloth. I'll give it a little wipe around some of the edges. Like that. I don't, now if I've had one on there and I'm replacing it, I would use the pre-alcohol pad. I'm not going to do that right now because, again, it's brand new. So then I grab the tab that is for the back. I peel that off. A lot of times what I'll do, especially for air bubbles, I'll take the plastic knife and I'll push those out as best I can. Try to get rid of as much of them as I can and get that to sit down as best as possible. Sometimes there's always one that sticks under there. I've never known them to be a problem, having one or two little ones underneath there. So not really a huge issue. So now on to the next step. Screen protectors down. Now we got to go on to the next step. Step 3. Install the build platform. Well, actually first I need to grab this upper film and peel it off. Alright, now that's actually installed. Alright, so now we gotta take our build platform. There is a protective film on there. You need to peel that off. Have I ever made that mistake? Yes I have. And we'll undo this screw. We'll take that build plate in there. We'll get that good and tight on there the way it should be. Alright, so the build plate is in place. We've tightened the knob. Now we're going to do an exposure test. So we're going to go to tools, we're going to go to exposure, and I'm actually going to go ahead and choose the default. Well, actually, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to move the Z. So I can actually see the LCD. Doesn't state to do that, but I'm going to do that. Because what's the point of an exposure test if I can't see it? Judging by the sound, very quiet, especially since it's going 50 millimeters. I love that, by the way. Most printers only give you a maximum movement of 10 millimeters. That's nice. So I'm going to actually move that quite a ways up so I can see. Then I'm going to hit the back button. I'm going to go to exposure. I'm going to choose the outer boundary for 30 seconds. I'm going to hit exposure. And I don't know if you can see this, but you can see it's lit up with the square in the center, which is what it's supposed to be showing me. That means my LCD is good. It's exposed properly, and it's going to give me a good print, which is great. That air bubble there, I'm going to try to scooch off. So now at this point, my exposure is good. My LCD looks like it's working right. I'm going to hit monitor one more time. I'm going to do the Anycubic exposure. I'm going to do that again. You guys can see, well, sort of see, there's a gridding and the word Anycubic. Everything looks right. So this printer survived its journey to me. Because a lot of times that's what can happen is they're jostled, they're moving around, they're in transport trucks, and that's a sensitive piece of equipment that can get damaged. I have actually had a printer show up and that LCD screen was cracked. So this one made it here perfectly. I love the look that I'm seeing in there. It looks great. So the next move is we're going to get the resin bay. I'm going to peel off that protective foam. Now one thing I will note about Anycubic's resin bays, they're cloudy compared to everybody else's. And you can hear that it's sitting properly. You can hear the tautness because of my voice reflecting off it, that weird vroom. That's a good thing. We want that. And looking at the bay, there's max symbols on both sides. I like that too. I like that there are funnel drains on each corner. That makes it a lot easier sometimes. So we will get this guy into the 4 holes. It just slotted down properly. We'll take our nice screws. We'll tighten down our resin bag. We'll check our instructions. So now we're ready for a file via the USB, and we're ready to actually start testing the printer out, which is fantastic. We can also set up and use the app. I may do that. I've never used their app, but we are pretty much ready for a print test. So what I will do is I will get ready to do a print test. But just kind of, again, this is a first impression video of this machine. And this may not be where I end this video, but right now we're just looking at the machine and the beauty of it. I like the build plate. I like the not having to level it. I love not having to do that step because that can be one of the most annoying things. Now I do have a concern about this because if it's leveling itself, what is it pushing on? What is that going to squish if that leveling mechanism breaks? So I'm a little worried about that, but all in all, I think we got a great design. Picking up and moving the machine was very much thought out with this, with handhelds here in the resin vat. Usually that's smooth. The screws are very nice, have very good heads with good grip. That's really, really nice. The M5s is, you know, we're going to that standard, not 6-inch build size. We're going up to that 9-inch, which I think is really becoming more of the standard. The tools supplied in it are very nice. Touchscreen LCD is very nice. My 2 complaints is, come on, every one of you manufacturers, every one of you have this problem. Put handles up here so that when we pick it up, we're not risking getting resin on this beautiful cover. My only other complaint is, why is the USB back here? That makes me so I can't put machines side by side. I'm having to reach to the back, hope I get it. And of course, being USB, sometimes takes 3 times to get it because, well, it's USB, and we've all had that problem. So having it in the back like that is not my favorite. Again, I'm having to do with this with the Frozen Mini 8KS is buy just a short USB extension cable and have it sitting out here in the front where I can easily access the drive. So all in all, history, I'm going to go into more settings here. Version, voice is all it shows me. History, service, language, tools, monitor. Error auto pausing is on this machine. Looking at layers, all that kind of fun stuff is in here. The vat cleaning is always a very important tool to me. I use that a lot. So great setup there. Print. There's my test. There's the test prints to try out. Very clean display. I don't like the buttons up here to move stuff. I like that there's local storage. The cloud info. So here's where I can set up my network and get this thing online, which I will explore that later, probably in the next video. So if you guys want to see more talking about this printer, definitely let me know in the comments down below. Especially, we will be seeing it, especially once that other Beagle cam gets in there, and I can figure out how to put the photo sensor in here so we can start trying to get some time lapses off this as well. So all in all, beautiful little printer, love the looks. The change to the build plate has me really interested to see how this is going to work. And you guys want to see that, make sure you're subscribed and keep checking in on the live streams and stuff, because 12K is becoming the name of the game, even though I don't know if there's really any resins that are really sharp enough to really register that. But we are going to take a look at the speed options and that kind of stuff too. Again, if you enjoyed this and you want to see more on this printer, definitely leave a comment down below. Thanks, guys.